Welcome to Jimbos Garage.
Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to the shop. Today's video I'm going to be making a fireplace screen for a vintage fireplace that's over 120 years old. Let's get started on today's video. Today's video is sponsored by King Metals. They've got all your fabrication needs in one location. From hinges to hardware, balusters to metal decor, brass to aluminum, and a whole lot more. You name it, they've got it. Check them out today at kingmetals.com. Now let's get back to today's video. All right, so the first thing I did is made a cardboard template of the opening. Now this opening is not a perfect radius. It's kind of rough and it's not accurate. So I made the template and now I'm just tracing it out on my welding table. At least that's what I thought I was going to be able to do. I'm trying to figure out what would be the best way to do it. All right, so I've got a piece of 1.5 inch by 3/16 flat bar stock, and this is what I'm going to be using for the frame all the way around the outside. Now I'm having to bend it in the long way, so in order to do that, I'm having to mark this. I've marked it about every 2 inches, and I'm going to actually have to mark a V in the very center part of this in order to make the radius completely go around. It's a fairly tight radius. So on the outside edges, I don't have to bend it so much, but towards the center all the way around, I got to cut a V in order to make that bend. You can see here, this is the straight piece. I don't have much to bend here on this. And I'm cutting it down to about, I don't know, 1/4 or 3/8 from the other side. And now I'm getting into where I'm having to cut the V out. Now this is like a one-time shot. I'm just thinking that this is the way it's going to work, and I'm kind of hoping it's the way it's going to work. At least that's what I'm hoping for right here. Portaband does a good job on this right here. You can see though, cutting the wedges out, those small little pieces got stuck in behind the blade. Had to pull them out of there. So again, I'm just kind of hoping that the V is big enough that it's going to make that radius all the way around. That's my table extension. I moved it from one side to the other side. I'm trying to keep it as flat as I possibly can. So far this method's working pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with the way it's cutting, and the most important thing is to see how well it's going to work. All right, everything's all cut out. Now it's time to start doing the bending, and I realized right there that it's not going to work because my welding equipment was in the way. So I had to retrace the template on the other side of the welding table, and now I think I'm good to go. Now this was a pretty challenging part of the build right here. Again, I'm just shooting by the hip and trying to figure out how this is going to work. I got all these metal braces in here and clamped them all down to try to get to the bending location, and now I'm trying to figure out how is this going to work. I need to bend it around this line right here. And so I determined that the best way to do this is to just weld it as I go here. Or I should just say tack it as I go. So it's going to keep the bend, it's going to keep everything. And I'm just going to work my way around this, my line that I've created on the welding table here. And hopefully I'll just work my way around and bend this radius in. So far so good. I'm pretty pleased with the way this is working out. So ultimately, I'm trying to stay about 1/4 inch to the inside of my scribe line. The template that I made was a real tight fit in the fireplace. The piece of cardboard template was a tight fit. So I'm okay with staying about 1/4 inch inside of the line. That way it assures me when I go to fit it in the fireplace opening that it's going to fit. A lot of guys are probably wondering why I didn't cut this out of my plasma table. Like I had mentioned, this is not a perfect radius, so there's no way that I could have designed a program to cut this out. So this is the option that I went with. There might be other ways of doing it, but this is the way this is what I come up with. And I'm beyond the point where I was hoping it was going to work. I'm pretty happy with it at this point right here. And now I know I can get it completed. And that my cuts were successful. Now I know I'm a little beyond the mark right there, but you'll see right here I'm going to bend it back. And I'm going to push it right in right there. All right, to take the clamps off, a little bit of adjustment on the left side right there. You'll see I'm a little off my mark, but right there I corrected it. And now I'm going to go ahead and just weld everything out. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this on both sides, so everything's going to get welded up. Surprisingly, another thing I was concerned about was possibly this thing warping due to a lot of heat. And I thought I might get something that would be completely warped out and didn't know if I'd be able to straighten it. But surprisingly, it stayed fairly flat. So, you know, you learn something every time you do something. I think about the possible chance of warping, but, you know, it stayed fairly flat. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just cutting it to length right here. And I'm going to get the bottom part of the frame complete right here. All right, with a brand new ceramic flap disc, and now it's time to do all the grinding right here. Quite a bit of a process right here, grinding it flat. But you know, when you get a fresh flap disc on there, they're pretty sharp, and boy, it really cuts through there. So actually, this went fairly quick, believe it or not. All right, so now I'm just doing some fine tuning right here on the inside, and I was struggling holding the grinder and struggling holding the frame. And I wasn't getting it finished the way I like to finish. And then I come back to that later. And now I'm just getting the back side of this all ground off as well. All right, so with everything ground down, now I'm trying to do the fine tuning. And I remembered I've got my vise mounted to this plate that adapts to my welding table in any position with the 1/2-13 threads right here. But it's been a while since anything has been in these 1/2-13s. As a matter of fact, has been never anything in these particular threads. That speed tap right there, a 1/2-13 speed tap, just run it through there and clean out the threads, and then this thing just bolts down. That's the beauty of this vise right here. Bolts down in any position in my welding table wherever I need it. It's quick and it's easy. And this setup right here, now this works a lot better, and I'm able to get the detail nice and ground in just the way I was hoping for. You know, it's handy to have a vise mounted to the table when you need it, and especially I can put it in any location like this. And like I said, I was able to get all the fine detail done the way I was wanting to with no struggles. All right, just double checking with the template to be sure everything is fitting in good, or it fits good and it looks good, and it does. And now it's time for the mesh. Now this is some 18 gauge flat mesh. I think they may call it diamond mesh, but it's flat. Some of it's raised, but this particular mesh is flat, which is better to work with. And a brand new Black Lightning cutoff wheel right here, and it'll take no time at all to cut this out. This is another awkward, you know, it was awkward for me to cut this out on this radius and you know, hold the piece and cut around the radius. It was just it was difficult, but you know, I got a board underneath there, kind of raised it up a little bit and gave me some clearance. All right, well, that cut out. Now let's fit it on the frame, and I left it about a 1/2 inch shy all the way around to allow to get some welding in there. So just some clamps down to hold everything nice and flat to the back side, and then some bump tacks about every 2 inches apart from each other, and that's all you really need. That's going to hold this down no problem. It should never come off of here. All right, so I'm trying to find some decor that I want to put on the front. And I've got this old bucket of all kinds of different curly cues and shapes and sizes of things, and I'm trying to find the one that's going to work work the best and look right in this particular project. And I finally settled on this piece right here, and I figured if I just cut it right in half, I'll have two identical pieces. I take it over to the Burr King. I wanted to grind a majority of the the back of that 5/8 square down a little bit. I wanted it kind of thin, welded on there, and that's just what I got right there. I'm just going to line it up in the center. I've got it propped up with a fab square, and so it's nice and vertical and plumb. Those legs sit flat right on the table, and then I'm just going to weld that all the way around. Pretty good little design, nothing fancy, but just enough. I got a couple legs I want to make for the back side of this. Oh, I've got some of the, I think this is inch 3/16 flat bar stock is what I had. I'm just making a couple of L's right here. And then I'm going to weld those to the back side. And that's going to be able to keep it nice and flat. You know, I had to make a handle for this. And I thought, you know, I've got some 1/2-inch square solid bar stock right here. And I thought I would try to get a little creative. Never done anything like this, and I've seen videos on this, or you know, people doing stuff like this. So I thought I'd give it a try. Of course, I don't have a forge, but I've got a rosebud right here on my oxyacetylene setup. And I thought I'd heat this up and put a little twist in this. You know, give it a little twisted look. You know, I don't know. I've never done it. I want to give it a try. I was worried about keeping it hot enough to bend, but you know, I struggled. Never done this before. You can see I'm struggling a little bit here, but it's actually starting to shape up and look pretty good. I was quite surprised about this. All right, just a little bit more work, a little bit more heat, a couple more twists. We'll get that thing straightened out. All right, I got everything straightened out, and now it's just I'm going to bend this to a 90-degree on both sides to create the handle part. And once I get that bent on both sides, then I'll end up cutting off a little bit of that handle part there. I ran it long because I just didn't know how long I was going to have it. All right, now I want to cut it down to the size and over the portaband. And no problem. I'm just going to center it up on the back side, or I should say on the front side, top center. And that should do it right there. That worked out pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that. Now I put some, I think I show it right here. This is 2,000 degree Fahrenheit, flat black, heat resistant paint. It is going in a Fireplace. Got a coat of paint on that, and that job is complete. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you haven't already, check out my website at JIMBO'Sgarage.com. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video.
See you next time on Jimbo's Garage.